Rasuke here, salutations. On today's episode of Anime and Manga Viewer, I'm going to be talking about Claymore. And mostly focusing on the manga. I will tell you this up front, is that I started to know about this series through the anime first, and then the manga, because the anime stops, and then the manga keeps going, and you get more and more information. In fact, I wish there was more of the anime, if you will. So, the best way I could describe that, if you're looking for a substitute Berserk, if you're looking for that dark horror fantasy that is violent, that is fantasy, this is a good substitute to read. I suggest reading it at night or in the evening, or even the animation. So let me do the setting and then bring up the story plot. Alright, so the series takes place in a fictional medieval land where humans are plagued by these creatures called the Yoma. They're humanoid shapeshifters that feed off of humans. And there's this mysterious organization, get this, and the name is called the Organization. Anyway, they are the ones who have all of these female warriors, and they supply their uniforms and everything, and it's the public that refers them as Claymores because of the swords that they carry. They're also called silver-eyed witches due to their silver eyes. And the series explains why they're only females and things like that, which I will not reveal. It's kind of cool. So the Yoma and the Claymore, how they're able to search out for them is that a town gets a request, and for a fee, they're basically kind of like demon hunting mercenaries, and they have their own powers, which I won't give away, but there is a super evolved versions of the Yoma. They're called an awakened being. It's kind of a long-winded way of saying they're like a superpowered one, but awakened being, you'll hear that a lot. But the Claymore warriors are even numbered from 1 to 47, and they have different strength, ability, intelligence, potential. They can sense each other's aura, which is kind of cool. They can also sense the Yoma. That's how they're able to track them. So even if because they're shapeshifters, they look like humans, which is kind of the cool point. You never know where a Yoma lurks, except when a Claymore is around. And sometimes the Claymore may even play a little coy and not, just come out and directly say, oh, he's the one. They might suspect that there are other Yoma around, and they might track them or kind of see what their MO is, their modus operandi, what that is in that sort of situation. But the Claymores themselves have their own individual different sword technique that's special. Some examples are they can twist their arm around and keep twisting it till it makes, some of it's really gross, some of it's really like really fascinating or something like that, but it's really weird that they can spin their arm around. It takes time for them to twist all their bones and flesh around to make it spin around like a drill. Some are waving their arms really fast that you can't even see the blade or something like that. So each one has their own strengths and weaknesses. You could tell by some of the artwork here how good Claymore really is. So believe it or not, that was just the setup. So the actual story is you're introduced to this Claymore named Claire. She saves a boy named Rocky, who's about 15 years old, maybe 16 years old. And that once she saves him, he's just tagging along. His family's totally gone, and as you know, in some of these animes and things like this, once you've kind of been around a monster, this now remember, Yomas can be in the shape of anybody. It was a family member. I am going to give that away. I will not give anything else away in the manga. And he's kind of alone, so he just sees his life purpose now is to be with Claire, and after that we get this flashback with this warrior named Teresa and everything and all these other characters, and you see all these other powers of the Claymore, and you see more Yoma, you see an awakened being, and you're just like, what does this have to do with Claire? And you finally figure it out, and then eventually gets back to the main story arc. Now that's in the anime and that's in the manga, but the manga actually let's see. Yeah, the manga ends 2015, sometime in October, and originally started in 2001 or 2002, something like that. So like 14 years, 15 years, somewhere around there. So really good. But yeah, this is, as you can tell by the artwork, this is a substitute Berserk, and I love it. It's violent, it's got excellent sword play. If you wanted to see it more visually in motion, check out the anime. But once again, the anime stops, the manga continues. You get much more background and much more development of these characters, which I personally love. So if you love fantasy and action and all these other things and want a Berserk type, check out Claymore. Trust me, it's weird, it's violent, it's unique. Thanks for listening. This is Rasuke.